Good morning, P4P. It's me, Laura, and we have started a new project on the page. There was a little story, a little dust up a few weeks ago about some of the female candidates in Indiana sort of being rebuffed by their male counterparts when they were requesting to debate. So we thought, you know what, if the men aren't going to step up yet, let's go out and let's find these women that are running for office and talk to them about what you might talk about at a debate. Let them have their say-so. So here we are, our first interviewee, so to speak. Not an interview, we're just going to have a conversation. Is Cindy Reinert. Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
And tell us a little bit about what's going on. What are you running for?
I am running for state representative in District 58, which includes Greenwood, Whiteland, and New Whiteland.
Okay, so for everybody not from here, it's just the southern part of Indianapolis, basically, just south. Talk to me about your top 3 issues. I found them to be very interesting. One of the things you talked about is education system in Indiana.
Yes.
Obviously, all of our community, they don't all live in Indiana. Kind of tell them what's going on and what are some things you would like to do to see that change.
Well, the public schools in Indiana are being underfunded every year. The legislature comes back at the end of the session and says, well, we increased the amount we gave to education. But the reality is that they increased the amount that went to vouchers. So voucher systems in the state, and I'm sure most states have those, some form of that, are for kids to attend private schools. Well, in Indiana, I'm going to tell you that 95% at least are religious schools. Which I don't have a problem with that. If people want to send their kids to religious schools, that's fine, but not with taxpayer money. It matters because we don't pay public school teachers what they're worth. They are buying their own supplies. The school systems are falling apart. We just saw that last year with Muncie and Gary. They're underfunded to the extent that they can't replace their buildings. They can't do regular maintenance work.
Right.
There's 3 school districts in my district. Center Grove lost over $1 million last year to vouchers. So every dollar that goes to a voucher comes right out of that public school system.
Do you feel like standards in the private schools are equal to standards that are in the public schools? Like, do you feel like they're held to the same accountability?
No, they're not. And the private schools don't have to comply. You see that with Roncalli. They don't have to comply with federal laws. So discrimination laws, those kinds of things, they can basically do what they want, which is not what taxpayer dollars are supposed to bill for.
Your other issue that's really important to you that gets a lot of people riled up is common sense gun reform. If you're here, let's say this is a spectrum, okay? So if you're here, weaponize everything, buy whatever you want, however much ammunition, let's go all the way in. And here's snatch all the guns. Where would you be on that spectrum?
I'm probably in the middle.
So right about there. Yeah.
Because I think there are responsible gun owners.
Sure.
But we need to have, it has to be a thorough registration and a background check. People just can't go buy a gun and get it that day. These gun shows that they have, how do they manage to do a background check on somebody in 15 minutes?
Right. So what I'm hearing you say is gun control is fine, just background checks.
Right.
What about a registry? How do you feel about that?
Well, there should be a registry.
Yeah.
Because if, they should cross-reference with domestic violence people. People that have been convicted of domestic violence should not ever be able to get a gun.
100% agree with
because that doesn't go away. I think it's a toss-up on felons, people that were convicted felons. Like, were they in prison for violent
That's a good point.
crimes?
Yeah.
Or were they in prison for selling, 2 pounds of pot to somebody?
Right.
I mean, there's a big difference there. I just think that everybody should, and assault rifles are off the table. Like, there's no reason to have. People say they're fun to shoot, great. Sign up and go into the military and you can go shoot them all day long.
What about, I heard you talk about, you've been to DC and you've been involved with Mayor Allen now. Obviously on our page again, reproductive choice is a big issue, and that's a tough one in Indiana. Let's do the spectrum again. Let's say I am extremely I don't like to say pro-life, pro-birth, right? Pro-fetus. And I am extremely pro-choice. A woman can have an abortion under any circumstance at any point up until she goes into labor. Where are you on that spectrum?
I am at the legal edge.
Okay.
I'm over here somewhere. I had my first pelvic exam at Planned Parenthood. And so that's how I became acquainted with Planned Parenthood. That was 1973, maybe.
Yeah.
So I've always been a proponent of Planned Parenthood. I try to make all their fundraisers because I think it's very important.
Yeah.
For the administration to try and continue to chip away at their services is just horrible. That's a specialty. And it's for people, I mean, I know women that could afford to go to a private gynecologist that prefer to go to Planned Parenthood.
Why do you think that is?
I think because they're supportive of Planned Parenthood and their services.
Yeah.
And so they do pay. You know, they pay, and that's basically a donation so that Planned Parenthood can treat the next person who may not be able to pay.
Right.
So, and that's why I donate to Planned Parenthood, and also to celebrate my Pence's birthday.
Cheers.
Cheers to that, and he always gets a receipt.
What do you say to people who go, Indiana's a red state, you're insane if you think you can win in this district?
We had 28% voter turnout. Tell me who's a red state. Tell me what those other 72% of the people would vote for.
Yeah.
That's the point. You have to show up.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get as many of my people in my district to vote early or get an absentee ballot. The elderly people, I've taken back absentee ballots to them that I've knocked on their doors. Because if it's snowing, they don't want to go anywhere. They have to get somebody to drive them.
Yes, snow is a factor in Indiana
yes, it
in
is.
November. Can be.
But that's it. It's the voters. They have to vote.
Get out.
Because and somebody actually told me that in French Look last weekend, was that we only had a 28% voter turnout. How can you say it's a red state?
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. So the people that have not been voting have to get there.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Cindy, thank you so much. We're
You're
so
welcome.
glad that we
Thank
got
you.
to speak with you and get to know you on a more personal level. Hopefully, my hope is that will make a difference to people when they go vote, and to people when they are able to see this, that they see these are real women that are running for office, and we're out there hoofing it and multitasking it every day.
Every day.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for picking me.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.